Hi, I'm Claire Johnston, a third-year biochemistry student. Our talk is about some of the student-staff partnerships that took place in the School of Chemistry at the University of Glasgow over the last 2 years. First, we're going to introduce you to the 3 projects that we ran, and then later, talk about our personal reflections, what we've gained from running these projects, and how students have benefited. Our first project focused on fostering community among second-year chemistry students through peer study groups. Our second project looked to develop the interactive teaching units, which are part of second-year chemistry. The third project aimed to develop first-year chemistry student skills through peer assessment. After that, as I said, will be our reflections.
Hi, I'm Frances Docherty. I'm Head of Level 2 Chemistry, and I'm going to tell you about the first student-staff partnership we had with 2 of our third-year students. The motivation for this project is just before lockdown, we surveyed our students in second year about how they like to learn chemistry. We found that they preferred passive methods, so they were quite stressed doing group work and active learning. They also relied on staff to tell them how they were doing and were not confident at evaluating their own work. So these things were an issue before COVID, so you can imagine they were a huge issue when students returned to on-campus learning after the pandemic. So we started lunchtime study classes. Each week we would have a class where students would have a topic of the week. They could try some questions together while they ate lunch. There were the 2 student partners who were the third year facilitators who could help them, and sometimes we had visits from guest lecturers. And we had really good attendance at these events, and the students were continuing the discussion on WhatsApp after the classes, so it was helping to build community and their confidence in learning.
Hi, my name is Aidan Guthrie. I'm a 4th year chemistry student, and I'm going to tell you about the student-staff partnership that I was involved in, where we sought to redevelop a section of the second year chemistry course known as ITUs. An ITU stands for an interactive teaching unit, and are normally 3-hour sessions which aim to help build students' transferable skills, such as teamwork and presentation skills, by exploring a real-world area of chemistry. Topics for these ITUs have varied over the years, but despite improvements over COVID, the feedback has again been largely negative for these sessions, mostly suggesting that they were not effective in developing these collaborative skills and that the material covered itself was rather dated. And that's where we come in. Myself and another student worked alongside Frances and Cosma to build a new ITU from the ground up. We decided to focus these sessions on solar cell technology, as we felt there was a lot of recent developments in this area. We ran the sessions in teal rooms, which provided the necessary tools to better facilitate collaboration, such as interconnected screens and microphones at each desk. For the session itself, we had the students each research select topics in groups, answer preset questions, and then present what they had learned about their topic back to the other groups. We also set aside time for a Q&A portion for the groups to help promote discussion between groups and further their understanding of the topic. Overall, the student feedback indicated that these sessions were better received than previous years, and that we were broadly successful in our aims to promote teamwork and the development of these transferable skills.
Hello, my name's Beth Paschke, and I've had the pleasure of working with our student partners Tess and Claire and my colleague Cosma on the third student staff partnership project in this talk, which is about the implementation of peer assessment into our first year quantitative labs. In the School of Chemistry, lab work is usually assessed via traditional lab reports. Generally, however, it's thought that both in the published literature and from our students' perspective that lab reports do not assess or provide accurate feedback on practical skills. Also, by creating a peer assessment, this should mean that students can learn both while they're observing others as well as while they're being observed. So the idea of this student-staff partnership was to implement this for all of our 600 first-year students. And we worked on things like creating checklists, creating demo videos, and evaluating the students' perceptions. We were fortunate enough to have a lot of positive feedback about the assessment, in addition to enhancing their confidence in doing the practical skills. Students really liked the social aspect of the assessment, the lack of pressure that peer observation entails, and a clear majority felt that it was overall a fair and enjoyable assessment.
So now we've told you about the projects, we're going to reflect on our experiences as partners. For me, being a staff partner was very enjoyable. One of the benefits that was unexpected was that I saw a new route to the student voice. So our student facilitators got on really well with the level 2 class reps and the main cohort, and they would tell them things that they could pass on to me that they probably wouldn't have brought to me directly. It was also great to see students from a wide range of abilities showing up at the study sessions and working together and building their confidence and friendships evolving. We also have some reflections from David, who was one of the student partners. He felt that facilitating the lunchtime study sessions helped to build confidence and knowledge in his chemistry that he could pass on to the younger students. He also talked about the friendships that were formed between the second and the third years, and he also felt a bigger part of the department and more integrated into the school because he was working on this project. The scheme has now been running for 3 years. Every year the students ask that we run it again, so it's been a great success story.
Looking back, I greatly enjoyed being a part of a student-staff partnership. It was a real boost to my confidence to know that my voice was being treated as equal to that of the staff involved, and being able to shape the direction of the project provided a sense of real responsibility. My project was focused on redeveloping part of the course meant to help students improve their teamwork and communication skills, but funnily enough, I feel like doing so helped me to develop those very same skills. Whether it was through brainstorming ideas with the team or presenting our work at a conference such as this, I think I was able to develop my own skills just as much as the students did. Additionally, it was very interesting for me to get a taste of what a career in academia could be like, and it's helped me to shape the direction of my own career moving forward. Overall, it was an incredible experience that's taught me a lot of new skills.
Hi, I'm Cosma Gottardi. I've been reflecting on how our partnerships started in different ways. For Project 2, Francis and I emailed the second years about revamping the ITUs over the summer. We got a few replies, and after reading some of the ideas and a few chats, we formed a partnership with Aidan and Oscar, and then applied for funding together. For Project 3, I was invited to join as lab coordinator by Tess and Beth, and I wanted to invite Claire, who had stood out from the class of 600 as she had been very helpful and constructive. Now, I must admit that when we were applying for funding, one of my thoughts was, ooh, great to have an extra pair of hands to do some of the work. But it soon became clear to me what a benefit it was to have students who had just done the course as our partners. Not only did they have good ideas, were enthusiastic and driven, which was infectious, crucially, it meant that the level of the content that we were creating was going to be pitched exactly at the right level for the next cohort. Finally, I want to share that my attitude as an educator towards course development has fundamentally changed through these two partnerships. Now, whenever I create any new teaching materials or assessments, I have an inner itch to at least run it past some students first.
As one of the student partners, I feel that this was overall a very positive and beneficial opportunity. I began working on this project the summer before my second year, and so this was my introduction to academically oriented work and my first time working on a project of this scale. I was initially offered a spot on the partnership because I had quite a bit of feedback to offer on the Quant 1 lab manual, and so it's been really encouraging to see the positive impact that this project has had on students and feel that I've given back to other first years. I think that while the lab can be a stressful place, it's also a great place to form friendships and connections, and getting to hear that from students has been very rewarding. On the partnership side of things, one aspect that stood out to me when I first joined and still stands out to me now is how welcomed I felt by Beth and Cosma. They took my suggestions seriously and valued the perspective I offered as a second-year student instead of dismissing my comments because of that. The work that went into the project strengthened my collaborative skills and allowed me to see how curriculum gets developed. There were opportunities to troubleshoot and see where things could be improved in the future. On the tail end of things, I've enjoyed being able to speak about the partnership and attend conferences to hear about other projects at the university and beyond. The other student in the partnership, Tess, felt similarly and talked about how rewarding it was to see our idea come to fruition. She was very focused on incorporating student feedback, and having now continued onto a PGDE in teaching chemistry, found it valuable to hear how students responded to changes in the curriculum. Overall, I think being a part of a student-staff partnership strengthened my work ethic and communication skills, and gave me a greater appreciation for staff and the effort and care that they put into teaching.
So for me, I felt that the student-staff partnership was truly student-led because it actually originated from Tess's final year project, which I supervised. Hence, it was especially exciting and satisfying to see the outcomes of her project incorporated into our undergraduate labs. Also, it was invaluable to hear our student partners' perspectives and ideas. And to add to this, our student partners are incredibly motivated and bring a huge amount of energy and enthusiasm to all of our projects.
Well, that's all from us. I think it's very clear that all of us, both students and staff, found these partnerships to be incredibly rewarding and worthwhile. We also just want to say thank you to the university for funding these incredible opportunities. And if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. Thank you very much for listening.